Hey guys, so we've been talking about Redbubble for a while, and I figured I'd make this video because it's going to create, in my opinion, a paradigm shift, and not only for me, but I think for everybody else here watching this, and maybe you guys can agree with me. And this is the way, and I'm just sharing with this video, guys, my point of view. So this is just purely the way I look at things, and let's just go ahead and talk about it. So the question is, can you make money fast on Redbubble? Now, based on all the videos you've seen, I've never really tackled this concept. I never tackled the concept of making money fast. In fact, you've heard me, say things that go against the idea of get rich quick. You've heard me say things that go against, trying to make money right now and overnight. But there are other times where truly I have made money fast. And whether it's Redbubble or whether it's not, there are elements that command that. There are elements that could command how fast you make money. And with that being said, I think the reason why it has to be a paradigm shift for all of us is because making money fast is quote unquote, here it's a loaded question because what is money fast? For some people, it could be in 3 months, and for some people, it could be in 1 month. And for some people, money could be $100. For other people, money could be $5,000. For other people, it could be $50,000. For other people, it could be $200,000 or $1 million. So, with that being said, it is a loaded question. But to some parameter, to some level, the answer is yes, you can make money fast. But the answer is also no in that case. And I'll kind of explain what I mean. You guys know that there are certain levels to business, and every business has its own set of rules. It has its own set of principles. It has its own set of ideas, right? And there's not one business that fits all. So, for example, I've seen in the comments a few people mention that, and this is when I did the Zazzle videos, they say, oh, I'll take the information that I learned from Redbubble and put into Zazzle. And that's one of the easiest ways to fail because that's not a key to success. These platforms are entirely different. And so each business model, each platform has its own business model. It has its own identity. It has its own chain of frame. It has its own way of thinking. More importantly, has its own processes behind success. Now, in terms of Redbubble, can we define those processes? Can we quantify them and say, okay, these are tangible things that we can accomplish in order to get more sales? Well, the argument is yes, we can. We can take a look at tagging, right? We can take a look at the title quality. And when we say quality is also somewhat relatively, it's a hybrid between quantifiable and qualitative. But with that being said, if we had an individual, a judge, let's say, we can objectively decide between a good title or a bad title for Redbubble. We can choose good tags and bad tags. In fact, for those who are familiar with the tagging course, I've specifically laid out the exact ways to find the proper tags, not only how to find them, but what tags to specifically use for your business, on Redbubble, right? Not on any other business, not on any other print on demand, but specifically Redbubble, right? We can all agree on that. Now, that's just two aspects of the game, right? There's titling and there's tagging, right? What's another aspect? The design quality, right? The quality of the actual design. Is it favorable? Now, we've tackled the concept of design quality before, and we've specifically said with design quality that design quality is mostly subjective unless it is in either sides of the extreme, whether it's very, very attractive or it's very, very unattractive, right? In that case, it is very objective, right? So when I want to be clear and I want to say subjective, it means that it depends on what the person's opinion is. So for example, if I show you guys all these designs right here and I say, what's the most attractive to you? Somebody's going to say this design, somebody's going to say this design, somebody's going to say this design, because there's no design here that's head and shoulders above the rest, and there's no design here that's extremely unattractive, right? They're all on relatively the same level. That's why they are subjective. but it would be objective if one is clearly just messed up. Like, let's say one is just extremely pixelated, or another one looks very, very attractive as opposed to the others. So that's design quality. Well, what's another one of those parameters? Well, we have outside promotion, and I've spoken about this before on the YouTube channel. Even on the new YouTube channel, we've created a tutorial on the Instagram, for example. If you promote your Redbubble products outside of Redbubble, there are ways to do it successfully. Now, yes, that does add another moving part to your equation, but here is an example of the video on that, right? So now let's go back to the original question that we asked. And is it possible to make money fast on Redbubble? Well, the answer is kind of, if you know the proper things that can allow you to do that. And more importantly, it's not just about knowing, but it's about doing. I can't tell you guys the amount of people that might learn something, that might acquire a new skill, acquire a new piece of knowledge, maybe even a new piece of understanding, but do absolutely nothing with it, which is extremely surprising to me, but it's the truth. And when I say absolutely nothing, I mean they're not moving forward with a real action plan to be successful in that kind of way. So I'll give you an example. Let's just use a course, for example. People might take a course. They might hop on the course and literally do nothing with it. Like, nothing. They might go, sit through the course, learn, but they're not changing their behaviors. They're not changing their habits. They're not uploading consistently every day. They're not working every day. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter how much motivation you give to these people. It doesn't matter how much inspiration, how much knowledge. You can never be able to fix that problem. Why? Because these are the people that are looking for the get rich quick. And they're not they're not focused on getting rich quick based on their actions or their behaviors. No. They're focused on getting rich quick based on their beliefs. Meaning, if you look at somebody who wants to really get rich quick, if you look at that person, they're not going out. They're not partying. They're not really, having fun. Maybe when I say having fun, take that with a grain of salt. They're not wasting time. They're using every single hour they possibly can to learn, acquire knowledge, almost as if it's a war strategy. Like, if you look at somebody who's truly dedicated to their craft, let's use Kobe Bryant, for example. Rest in peace. Right? The guy used to show up before the games and practice 1,000 jump shots before the game. Does that somebody who looks like he wants to be successful or unsuccessful? Extremely successful. The answer is extreme success. And he wants to be successful relatively quickly, and that's why he's so focused on doing what it takes today, here and now, to move forward, right, into the game. With the game of Redbubble, like I said, you have people, you can give them all the training, everything in the world, but for some reason, they don't want to put their foot on the gas and do the work. And this is not a motivational video. I'm going to be honest. This is not a motivational video. We're just talking about getting rich quick. So, is getting rich quick something bad? The answer is no. Is it possible? It's possible, but it depends on who is, essentially the driver behind that vehicle. See, the vehicle in this case is Redbubble. Everybody has different vehicles. Some people might drive their vehicle at 20 miles an hour. Some people might drive it at 100 miles an hour. This is why I say don't waste an opportunity. For those who have joined the courses, I've specifically gave exact strategies on how to tag and how to, essentially title to get not only Google results, but SEO results, Redbubble results. I've talked about designing, and there are many people who took advantage of that. But I wouldn't be blind to the idea that there are people who probably took the course and maybe didn't fully take advantage. Maybe they were unfocused, lackadaisical, right? So it's not about the individual platform, but it's about the driver. So it's not that can you make, it's not that can someone get rich on Redbubble or can make money fast on Redbubble. It's about who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? So if you look at your behavior and you ask yourself if you want to be successful or quote unquote make money fast on Redbubble, ask yourself this: is my habits, is my work effort, is my output, is it conducive to the result that I truly want? If I want to get rich quick, let's just take the idea out of scams or forget get rich. Let's just talk make money. If we want to make money, quote unquote, quickly, on Redbubble, we ask ourselves this: are there other people doing it? Are there other people making money on Redbubble? Is it yes or no? And if the answer is yes, which it is, because Redbubble, like I said, just last year alone, $559 million in revenue. If there's other people doing it, then it means I could do it too. Now, it's just a matter of quantifying how long it will take. So if we said, let's just say, if you have 1,000 designs, you'll be able to make X amount of dollars, right? Whatever that is. It's just your choice of how fast you want to get to that 1,000. Do you want to get there in 1,000 days where you upload one design a day? Do you want to get there in 200 days where you upload 5 designs a day? It's up to you how you want to set it up. And at the end of the day, depending on how much money you'll make, has nothing to do with the platform. I want to be clear on this, guys, because in the POD community, in the print-on-demand community, we tend to favor one platform or the other. We'll say, Redbubble is bad because it does this to people, or it doesn't do this, or it does that. Or, Shopify is bad because it doesn't do this, or it's too this, or, we come up with all these different ideas, these things that could essentially allowing us to make excuses for ourselves. But if we just come to the realization that every single strategy out there works, and when I say every strategy, I'm talking about every platform, Zazzle, Redbubble, Society6, Spreadshirt, all these different platforms work. Now, yes, some of these platforms might be drastically smaller than the others. Some of these platforms might be more effective depending on the strategy that we're more comfortable with. But at the end of the day, there are people making money on all of these platforms. And there's not one platform that's a scam or a fake or a sham, or it's just a waste of time. None of these platforms are that. But it is the driver behind the vehicle. That's all that matters. And that's what will determine mostly the output of the success. And I'll put it this way. Imagine you have a busted up car, right? I know what it's like to drive a busted up car. Most of my life I drove a busted up car in terms of, my driving when I was in college. That was the most time when I drove cars the most. And I had one car. It was the same age as me. It was actually my mom's car. And when she had passed away, I had acquired it, luckily. And that was the only vehicle I had. It was busted up. The AC didn't work. The heat didn't work. The car's battery would always go out. Only the left door on the right door, which was the passenger door, would unlock to get into the car. The brakes would squeak. The transmission was messed up. The windows wouldn't roll down. They were broken. There was just a whole load of issues, right? But that vehicle, to me, was able, maximum speed on that vehicle, very, very slow vehicle, was able to go 50 miles an hour if I pressed on the gas long enough. There's somebody else who might be driving a Lamborghini. That Lamborghini is able to go 200 miles an hour. But if that guy with the Lamborghini, who has all the resources, only presses on the gas at 15 miles an hour, and I go full throttle as hard as I possibly can, the car's smoking, it's going crazy, but I'm going 50 miles an hour, even though I have less resources, I'll get there before the guy in the Lamborghini does. And this is why a lot of people say it's not about the resources you have, but it's about your resourcefulness, right? So from now on, we have to keep in mind that it's about resourcefulness. It has nothing to do with the resources you have, nothing to do with the tools you have, nothing, right? Even the courses. I talk about these courses a lot and I promote them a lot. And I actually keep them at a cheaper price of $39.99, and we're slowly increasing the price, but I keep them at a cheaper price because I don't want resources to be an excuse. And when I say that specifically to be when I talk about knowledge, because one of the resources you have is knowledge. Now, you can acquire knowledge or you can learn knowledge, right? I can acquire it by going to a library. I can acquire it by buying a book. I can acquire it by buying a course, right? And there are different speeds to acquiring the knowledge. So, for example, if I want to be a carpenter, I can sit down on YouTube and watch videos all day and acquire a lot of knowledge. I can go to a carpenter and learn from him specifically, right? And pay him thousands of dollars to teach me everything. I can go to a course like a trade school. I can do it myself, and I could spend hours and hours trying to figure it out and not know how to do it. But that's only one aspect, right? If I don't have the willpower, if I don't have the motivation, if I don't have the discipline, most importantly, to go out there and do it, then it's never going to be done. So in terms of the question, can you make money fast on Redbubble? Guess what? The opportunity's out there. It's your opportunity. It's your chance. Hypothetically, yes, anybody can make money fast on Redbubble. But will you make money? Well, that depends on you, and that depends on your outcome. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and they say, I haven't made any sales yet on Redbubble. And I say, okay, how many designs you have? They say something like 40 designs, 30 designs. Well, of course you're not going to make any money because you're expecting to make money off of 40 designs when there's over 30 million designs on the platform. So what do you expect? Also, on top of that, you have to ask yourself, are your designs tagged properly? Are they titled properly? Are you 100% positively sure that your designs are actually favorable to your audience? And you can verify all this data. I mean, this data is completely verifiable. You can go into your settings, your analytics, and check how many visitors you're getting. If you're getting a ton of visitors, but nobody's buying, then you know that people don't like your designs, the way they look. You might be tagging properly, but you're not getting, if you're getting, let's say you got 10,000 views on your work in the past month, but not a single person purchased. Well, that means your design is unattractive. And reality is that's unlikely. You're probably not going to get that many views on a product that's unattractive. It's just highly unlikely, right? But let's say you're getting 200 views, 500 views. Don't fool yourself. That's not that much. That's not enough to create a significant amount of sales or any sales. Remember that the average conversion rate, the average, is just 1%, 1 to 2% on Redbubble for each store. So if you're below average, you're looking at 0.1, 0.2. Do you know what 0.1% conversion rate is? That's for every 1,000 people that visit your store, you'll get one sale. One sale. So a lot of people also get confused. They think that the 200 visitors or the 30 visitors that they had could equal to a sale. That's not the case either. See, and this is why I say knowledge comes into play, because knowledge will tell you that on Redbubble, there are many moving parts. One of the moving parts is traffic acquisition. One of the moving parts is conversion rate optimization. Another moving part is design quality. Another moving part is tag quality. Another moving part is title quality. And quality in which regard? In regard for the specific search algorithm that you're optimizing for. In the course, we specifically talk about Google and the Redbubble search algorithm, right? And I'm talking about the tagging course. I'm not talking about the design course, right? The design course is for design. That has nothing to do with the tagging. But you guys get what I'm saying here, right? It's specifically for Google and Redbubble. But if you're optimizing for, let's say, Bing, that's a completely different scenario and completely different situation. So at the end of the day, guys, the level to what your results that you're getting, it directly correlates to not only your abilities, your knowledge, but your willpower as well. And all of these play a role. I've heard so many people say, I'm doing everything right, but I'm not getting any sales. Well, then in that case, you're not doing everything right? Like for example, if I was to team up with, let's say, LeBron James, okay? And I was to say to him, okay, I'm a great basketball player, but for some reason, I just can't make a shot. Well, he'll be like, okay, tell me what you're doing. And I say, look, I'm shooting the right way every single time, but I can never make a shot. This basketball thing, this thing is just messed up. It doesn't work for me. It's not right. It's scam. It's fake, right? Well, then what's going to happen is LeBron is going to look at me crazy, and he's going to say, well, you're obviously not shooting the ball right if it's not going in the hoop. Does that make sense? And so essentially, that's what people are saying online now. And it's not everybody, by the way. It's just a small percentage of people where they'll say, Redbubble's a terrible place because it doesn't work. Well, no, it's just that it doesn't work for you. And it doesn't work for you because you're not doing everything right. That's the thing, is that don't be confused. You're not doing everything right. If you were doing everything right, you'd get the results to match that, right? And so let's not be confused, and let's understand the reality of the situation. And guys, there's nothing wrong with pivoting. If Redbubble is not your thing, there might be a different platform for you. Like, there are times when I first started where I had to pivot. I'll give you an example. If you guys are familiar with KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, I did KDP for about 7 months, and I didn't do it as a job or anything like that. I did it like as a side hustle, the same way I do this stuff. And within 7 months, made a few $1,000s, nothing crazy. And I said, you know what, this is a waste of time for me because I'm going to sit here, write books, etc., and make a few $1,000s, and it wasn't for me at that time. Now, guess what I did later? When I had sold the business later and I had really nothing to do, I went back to KDP and I figured, okay, I want to kill it. I want to do well with this, and I want to do it for fun. So what I did was I came up with a game plan to hire people and set up a whole business plan to blow up on KDP, and guess what? In a matter of a year, we did, and I make a full-time income, passive income, just off KDP alone. And so my point here is that, and this is not a KDP video, so we're not even going to get into KDP because that's a whole world on its own. But what I'm trying to say is every business has its moving parts. Every business has its learning curve. You can either acquire that knowledge yourself or you can develop it. Like, there's really no other way. You buy it or you develop it. There's no other way. And the system, if it doesn't produce you results, that means there's something you're doing wrong. And trust me, I know it's hard to believe, but there are moments in time where I wasn't successful at a certain thing. I thought I was doing everything right, but I wasn't. The reality is, and the harsh reality and the harsh truth, I had to look at myself in the mirror and say to myself, if I was doing everything right, I would be having different results, and I'm not. And so that means I need to figure something out here. And the reality is guys, we have to be honest with ourselves. That's it. Honesty is the best policy. You guys heard people say that all the time. I don't want to keep this video any longer than it has to be. Hopefully this is good as a paradigm shift, a different way of thinking. And more importantly, I hope you guys do well and I hope you guys succeed. And at the end of the day, guys, success is within you and it's your choice. Remember that success is a choice. And this video is not meant to be motivational, but it's meant to be a shift in the way of thinking. That's what it's supposed to be. So if you hear a video where somebody says, here's how I made $1,500 in a day using Redbubble, if that person truly did get to that point, it is because they're doing something right. Not, they don't get there off of luck. They don't get there off of ease. They don't get there off of magic. They're doing something right. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Bye.